All right, let's get into today's, or I guess yesterday's meeting. So we started with a one-word whip, and basically, just use one word to describe your week. You can email this to me. You don't have to provide context if you don't want to, and try not to say just good or fine. I actually do want to know how you're doing. Oh, my word. I don't remember what my word was. But if I had to choose right now, it would be chaotic. This week was crazy. Okay, so the first thing we went over is emails. So do we respond? When do we forward them? Who do we forward them to? Do we delete them? Where do we put emails that have been read and why? So let's get into it. The mail received folder is a folder that we put emails that have been dealt with already or that are spam emails. It basically acts as our like deleted folder. Never ever actually delete an email. We place them in this mail received folder. And that's because it allows pro staff to find any emails if they need to, or if the email has already been responded to or forwarded to someone else, we put it there just to show and communicate to the rest of the team that this email has already been taken care of. So let's go over some examples. This email is from Claire, and it says, one of our favorite clients and the first comedian to ever play and sell out the baseball stadium, Gabriel Iglesias, is hitting the college circuit again in 2023 to preview brand new material. Um, Household name, reach out to connect, sells 5,000 plus tickets. And then it says current pricing around 150K. So for this, do you think you would A, respond, B, forward the email to Lisa, C, forward the email to Jody, or D, put it into the mail received folder? So we should put emails like this in the mail received folder. And the reason for that is because when you look at it, like it kind of seems like a scam. It just doesn't seem legit. Like, I mean, who is this person? That it's not even a person. The current pricing around 150K. It just seems very scam-esque. So this is the type of email that we would throw into mail received. If there's something that doesn't look legit, that looks like a scam email, just put it into the mail received folder. If you're not sure, ask the person next to you, ask what they think, get another opinion on it. And yeah, go from there. Just use kind of, use your own common judgment, a common knowledge, or yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. All right, next one. Um, Hello, club leader for French Club. I just want to send out an email following the student handbook on dissolving an organization. Seeing as how the French Club was kind of just thrown onto me last year and never really held much of an interest, I would like to dissolve it as I won't be able to maintain it this year. So should you respond, forward to Lisa, forward to Aaron, or put it into the mail received folder? So because this email is about French Club, which is a student organization, I would forward this email to Aaron. Not only would I forward this email to Aaron, but I would also do letter A and respond to this person and say, "Hi, Tao. Just letting you know, I forwarded your email to Aaron because he's in charge of our student orgs on campus, and he should respond to you as soon as he sees the email, just so that that person isn't like left hanging. They know that someone is taking care of it. And yeah, I just think that's the best way to go about it. So kind of doing both A and C for this one. Oh, and then after I responded and after I forwarded the message to Aaron, I would make sure I also do D and put the email in the mail received folder to show everyone else on the team that this email has already been taken care of. If you have questions, let me know. So this last one, hi, I have a faculty member presenting in Greeks tomorrow afternoon, and they want to do a test run for about a half hour today. Is there any open time she could use? Thanks. And then there's some more context down here. Should you respond, forward to Lisa, forward to Aaron, or put it into the mail received folder? This is an email that we can absolutely respond to. We can easily check Mazevo and check our reservation sheet to see if there's time for them to come in early and do a test run. Emails like this should not be forwarded. Please, please take the time to actually think about the email before just forwarding it to Lisa. Lisa and other pro staff, they get tons of emails. Like it's kind of insane. So if we just keep forwarding them things that we could answer, it adds a lot onto their plate. And it's kind of like, well, I mean, why aren't the pro staff just sitting out there then? You know, this is part of our job. So we need to make sure we're responding to emails whenever we can. The only time we need to forward an email is if we absolutely don't have the answer, or you know, if it's something about student orgs, usually we forward that to Aaron, things like that. um, but yeah, just use your common sense on these, and please, please think about it before just forwarding it to a pro staff. All right, the next thing we went over at the meeting was the cash box procedure. Jody is in charge of cash boxes, so her and I actually, you know, physically demonstrated how to check one in and check one out. Unfortunately, I can't really do that, like explicitly demonstrate that, but we can still talk about it. So let's go over how to check out and check in cash boxes to student orgs. And also, if my explanation that I'm going to give isn't like very clear to you, then if you have questions while you're on a shift, please ask the person you're working with, because odds are they were at the meeting, and or ask the group me too. And if it's like in the moment, like someone is checking out a cash box right there and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, give Jody a call and she'll just come right down. All right, so these are the cash box slips. They look like this. The student org name will already be filled out. So this spot will already have a name in it. The cash amount will also be filled out and the date will be filled out. So let's say the student org name is International Club and they need $50 on today's date. So that information would already be there. So when they come to grab their cash bag, it can be anyone from the student org. And this is what the bag looks like. These bags will already be in the safe. Jody drops them off in the morning. These bags will be in the safe with the money that the org requested. So the amount that is here, and with this slip, this yellow slip, sometimes, or orange, I guess. Sometimes they're orange, pink, yellow, but it's all the same slip. So the money and the slip will be in this bag, which will be in the safe. So I would go into the safe, I would grab the bag, and I would grab a cash box. The cash boxes are on top of this, or on the shelf above the safe, I'm pretty sure. So when that person comes, I would get their name. So I would write either I would write the student's name, not the student org name. So the student that comes to me to pick up the cash bag, I would write their name, or sorry, to pick up the cash box, I would write their name. I would count the money in front of them, make sure that they see you counting it, that they confirm that it is the same amount. So I would write that amount right here. So let's say $50 because they asked for $50. Then I, as the desker, would write my name at the desker spot. When the org is done and they come back, it might not be the same person who picked up the cash box in the beginning, and that is fine. So whoever returned it, so you'll write their name, you'll write the amount. All three of these amounts should end up being the same. So if they started with $50, they should have $50 when they first get the cash box, and they should still have that $50 when they come back. They keep the profits. So let's say they started with $50, but they made $70. They would keep the $70 and we keep the 50. So I would initial back here because I'm still working. And then I would take the 50 from them, the remaining money. They keep their profits, so they keep the 70. I take the 50, I put it back in the cash bag with the slip and put it back in the safe, and Jody picks them up at the end of the day. I know that's kind of confusing when it's explained verbally. Like I said, it's really helpful when we demonstrated it. But again, if you have questions, please use all of your resources. Um, and then just make sure when you are doing the slip that you're also entering it in the shift log and swiping their swiping their U card when the cash box is picked up and returned. So fill out the slip, make sure they confirm the amount, and swipe their U card in the shift log under the cash box tab. If you have questions, let me know. So next up is poster approval. This is really important. It may seem like a small part of our job, but it does really matter. So we're gonna go over this. I think we need a refresher. Which posters do we approve? We approve UMD affiliated posters with events posted in Bulldog Connect for student organizations, not UMD departments. So UMD departments don't need to have their information in Bulldog Connect. So that's like study abroad, I don't know, like marketing, RSOP, Swenson, like if it's a department organization on campus, they don't need their events in Bulldog Connect. Student organizations do. If the event is not posted in Bulldog Connect for student orgs only, please show them how to fill out an event registration form. Wait until they fill it out before approving their posters. If they do it in front of you, that's fine. They don't have to wait until it gets confirmed by Aaron because that can take a while. If they're like, okay, thank you, I'll go right over here and fill it out, and then they come back, that's also fine. Just make sure you show them how to fill it out and you see them filling it out before you approve their posters. So this form on Bulldog Connect, you go to the forms tab at the top, and then you scroll down, and it's right here. It's event registration. All they need to do is click on that and fill it out. It is super simple. Okay, so if posters are not UMD affiliated, so if it's like a job posting, sometimes there are political advertisements, people can hang them in our public posting spaces. And these are by the DC, and there's one in the Vendent Lounge. They're also listed on the back of the poster map at number 5. So if someone is like, I have these posters, and if you look at them and you're like, oh, these aren't UMD affiliated, they're not really legit, we can't approve them, always refer them to these public posting spots. I just say number 5 on the back of the map has a list of our public posting spots, and it's super easy to find. So, all right. Next one. When do posters expire? If the poster lists a specific date, like January 1st, it expires the day after, so January 2nd. If the poster lists a general date, like come to our meeting on Fridays, it expires 1 month out from the day that I received it at the desk. Make sure to write the date of expiration and your initials when approving posters. So an example here, come to the Kirby meeting. It is Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 1:30. When should this poster expire and why? Think about it. Yeah, okay. So this poster should expire October 15th. The reason is because Thursdays is general, and like it's a general date, and yesterday the meeting was September 15th, so it expired a month out from the day that I received it because it's a general day. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, what about this one? Come to the Kirby training. It is October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. When should this poster expire and why? So this poster should expire on October 25th. The reason is because it is I don't know why, oh, there, oops. It is a specific date. It has like specific dates and it should expire, if we remember, if we go back, the day after the event. So even though this event is 3 days long, the last day, so the 25th is the next day. That probably sounds a little confusing, but it's specific, so it expires the day after the event. And the previous one was general, so it expires a month out. Hopefully, ask me questions if you need to. Just please do not write random dates. It's really confusing. Also, a thing to point out is the poster binder. Make sure we are filing them in there nicely and we file them according to the date of expiration. So for this poster, if it was like a big poster, I would fold it in half. I would hole punch it along the crease side, make sure the information like this is on the front so that it's easily seen. And then I would file it away in the poster binder between October 24th and 25th, the date of expiration. Tons of posters were just shoved in the poster binder and it makes it really confusing and hard to clean out. There's a reason why we keep record of the posters that are up. So please just file them away nicely, so that no one has to deal with it later when it's a huge mess. So the next thing is timesheet reporting. Please be mindful of logging AM versus PM hours. Lisa, it took her like 2 hours to approve everyone's timesheets because there are tons of like small errors. So just please be mindful of what you're logging. No one should be working at the desk at 3 a.m. You should be home in bed. So make sure you're using AM and PM accordingly. If you're working more than one shift in a day, to log your time, I can show you, oops, go back. I can show you really quick. No. Sorry, guys. You can fast forward this a little bit. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I know we went over this at training, but a lot of people were asking questions. So if I were working, let's say right now, let's say I worked this morning. Let's say I worked from today's Friday. I worked from 7:30 a.m. and I got off at 11 a.m. Great. But let's say now I have the desk meeting. The desk meeting is at 1 p.m. Pretend it's past that. So for the desk meeting, at the end time, I would just come back 1 p.m. And then the desk meeting is only 30 minutes. So until 1:30 p.m. Make sure you put in regular pay. The only time you should be working holiday pay is on holidays, and I would probably let you know whether or not you should mark that. So just make sure you click regular pay and you're done. This is the easy way to do it. Another way to do it, if you're working more than once in a single day, is if you move all the way over to the right, there's this plus sign. This adds a row. So if you add a new row, you can also enter in the second shift there. I prefer to just use this one. You probably won't work more than 2 shifts in a day. So this is just the easier way to do it. All right, let's go back. The other thing is it is your responsibility to log your hours for time worked. So if you miss a day, like a day of the week when you're logging your time, that is on you. It is not on Lisa. So make sure you're paying attention to the days you worked. They're also in when to work, to, make sure you're logging your time correctly. And be sure to clock your time after checking your poster spot. You should be checking it 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm walking around. So if you're not, I will happily give it to someone else. Tons of people, like other deskers, want a poster spot too. So if you're not checking them, I'll give them to someone else and they can clock that time. Um, Also, when you're trading shifts, be sure to keep using when to work. You guys have been doing a great job with that. It's just because since Lisa approves hours, she needs to make sure that, what is on when to work matches the time that people are entering in. So, yeah, if you have questions, let me know. For October scheduling, remember to have at least 2 weekends available and free to work. The hard deadline is today for updating that schedule. As far as schedules go, things should mostly stay the same, but expect your schedule to be altered a little bit. Usually September is kind of like that trial run. Like people, they find out what works for them, what doesn't, what they prefer, what they don't prefer. So kind of expect some consistency from September, but there also may be some changes. And the schedule will be posted no later than September 26th. My practicum is starting now, so that means I'll be in elementary schools a couple days a week. But I mean, this shouldn't be an issue. It'll most likely be posted earlier than then. All right, miscellaneous things. Chores, please complete them weekly by Sunday. Do them during your shift. This is not extra paid time. It's not like the poster spots. So make sure you're doing your chores during your shift. If you are not completing your chore, unfortunately, I have to keep track of when this happens, and then we move into the corrective action policy. I do not want to do that. I really don't want to do that. It sounds awkward and uncomfortable. So please just do your chore. And if you have questions about your chore, ask. Next one, lost and found. File lost and found items right away. Don't just leave things sitting on the desk. Empty water bottles before placing them in the lost and found. Last weekend, Paying was surprised with a nice little shower when she took the water bottles down because all of them were leaking all over the place. And also, it makes that basket super heavy when we don't empty the water out of the water bottles. So please make sure you just go right across to the bathroom and empty out, or the drinking fountain, and empty out the liquid or the water that's in those water bottles before putting them in the lost and found. The next thing is a shift log. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but there's a new initial column in the messages from pro staff tab. This column is to hold us all accountable for reading their messages, especially Lisa when she sends them. So just make sure you go in that tab. If you see a message from pro staff, initial to mark that you read it. And the last thing is the appreciation box. There were tons of appreciations today or yesterday, but I'll read some of them. And if I mention your name, feel free to stop by Lisa's office and you can pick out a prize from my red prize bag. It's red now, it's not green anymore. So this one says, thank you to Jesse, Paying, Fushi, and Cora for being flexible with trading shifts from P. I'm assuming that's Paris or Paige, I don't know. And then this one is for Anthony. Thank you for being fun to work with. So Anthony and Jesse, feel free to swing by Lisa's office and pick up a prize. All right, that is all I have. Please make sure to watch this video by Sunday night and email me with any questions you have and with your one-word whip. All right, have a good day, guys.